Can you tell us a little bit about F12, how it came to be?
I think if we go back into the 90s, for me, that was the dawn of the PC era. So people taking their first journey, their first websites, their first custom application, all of this work was starting to sort of enter the small business community. Prior to that, it was in the enterprise, but you had big mainframes and things like that. And I had the advantage, I came from Pepsi, so I had a lot of experience of mainframe computers and utilizing also PCs in parts of the business. So I gained a lot of experience, and I was able to sort of transform that and bring it out to the small business community. And that's how it started.
How did it evolve from that, from its inception to where it is today?
Luck. There was an insatious appetite for businesses to bring in and get this work done. And there just wasn't enough people doing it. And so the day I started, it really started to ramp up very quickly. So it went from my basement to our first location within a year.
What was the thing, like what for you made you want to start this company? Like, was there a pain point that you were trying to solve for someone, or was it a passion of yours?
It was the pursuit of getting it done. And I think a lot of people sort of get hung up on the details in running a business. And I think if you just are driving towards an outcome, the rest will take care of itself. And so for me, I think we were just really good at getting in there and figuring out what was going to make a difference for that business.
So as technology evolved and we, advanced over the years, what was that period like as you started to grow and you saw that the demand was increasing?
As it started to grow and we got more clients, it got more complicated, as businesses do. Up till then, we were just trading time for dollars. So everything that we did was project-oriented, sold equipment, and so what started to happen is around 2000, viruses came onto the market in a big, big way. Prior to that, believe it or not, we didn't need firewalls. We could just leave a computer open to the internet. Nobody even knew how to get there. It was just sort of in a trusted small group, right? So this transformation in 2001, we sort of found ourselves in a spot where we have to change the game of how actual IT is delivered. And because we found companies didn't want to have this conversation about technology or antivirus or firewall. They didn't want to talk about these things. They just wanted to do what they do. And the more and more that sort of hit my desk, the more I sort of said, okay, we have to maybe come up with a better way to do compute. And so what was born at that time was the Service Plus program, which was an all-inclusive hardware, software, all the licensing that would be included, the management of it, the antivirus, the firewall, all of that wrapped into one single sort of per user, per device fee.
Can you tell us a little bit about the changes in the industry, economically, like all of the factors that take place?
Well, I think if you go back to the time materials phase to this, what I would call hardware as a service phase, which was pre-MSP, so managed service provider, which I think actually is now a term that most people use. But that really didn't come onto the scene until about 2006. And so managed service providers became a much more of a dominant way to deliver IT. But we had already been in the hardware as a service business for about 5 or 6 years. So we transformed some of the business into managed services. Managed services is sort of predicated, I'm going to take care of your server or your computer. I'm going to monitor, I'm going to put some antivirus on it. I'm going to make sure it's safe and secure. We were already sort of that. We were already doing the hardware all included, right? And doing this whole thing and really focused around the user. And so this next phase in development of this industry is far more around subscription. If you think about it, it's a shift of more of the risk over to the provider. Back in years ago, there was a CEO, not in the form of a company that runs the company's strategy. It was the chief electrical officer. Well, now we just look at electricity as just a utility, right? You subscribe to it. You just vote. And do I want a fee that changes every month, or do I want a fixed fee and I just true it up? And so you have some choices as to how you consume it. But it's a subscription. You don't make a decision on the transformer that gets bought or the type of power line that comes in, or you just get to consume it. And IT is becoming this thing in the same way as we consolidate and more companies sort of come together. It's because it's a better operating model for the user.